Thank you. Sound is fine. Beautiful. Awesome. JJ and the Reverie. Let me know if anyone has any questions about our pedals or bass playing. I mean, maybe I should think of something to just talk about because I'm going to upload this on YouTube. But come on, I can see this across the platforms. We got like 15 people here. So let me know if you have any questions. Please. Wondering something. I play a song with a friend of mine using E Phrygian Dominant. What can I use to spice it up? I mean, E Phrygian Dominant is already very spicy. But I mean, you can play A harmonic minor. You know what I mean? The parent mode. So if you're playing this kind of sound, you can do this. Yeah, maybe you already know that. JJ and Reverie, on the side, your lessons on bass have been incredible too. Thank you so much. I'm trying my best to share everything that I ever know or have learned. So yeah. I'm trying to think of what else you can do on that Phrygian Dominant. I mean, something cool maybe is to use those two triads. Yeah, so to use triad pairs. That could be something cool that you could do for Phrygian Dominant 5. Yeah. So playing like E major and F major. And then going A harmonic minor. Maybe. Or even I think something cool you could do, I hope you're still there, is like off of the, if you think of E Phrygian Dominant as being related to A harmonic minor, you could take the third, the flat 3, C augmented, and you can run that in tones, and you'll get that kind of sound, which is a pretty crazy sound. So yeah, maybe try that. And once you get that happening in whole tones, you can do it in major thirds, like, yeah. Go slower than I just went though, because I'm screwing it up. But yeah, I hope that's something. So again, you got Phrygian Dominant. I'm thinking A harmonic minor. I'm thinking E major to F major. And you can do the inversions of that, so, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, C augmented. And once you get into augmented stuff, you can start to do all that symmetrical stuff, which is awesome. BX Disciple, hi Greg, thanks again for these live streams. They're awesome. What kind of jazz bass is that? This is called a Kylek jazz bass. I think it's a fake one though. That's what we're coming to find out, because this brand is not even available to buy yet. But somehow I ended up with one, and I've just changed the pickups. So I think soon in the future these basses will be available, but they won't be the same as this one, because I don't know, somehow this one left the factory and got to where I am. Any more questions? Come on. Now I'm in like a harmonic minor land, which is actually not a land that I spend much time in. Bassmaticsville. What is superimposing? Thanks for these live streams. All good. What is superimposing? Superimposing is when you take something and put it on something else. So as an example, yeah, like we were just kind of maybe I should do a simpler example. As an example, like what we were kind of doing there was we had E dominant 7, and I'm saying you can play all your augmented triads. So that's like superimposing other chords on top of another chord. So yeah, just like when you take something and put it on something else, essentially that's what it is. And sometimes it can be diatonic and sometimes non-diatonic. I think generally when that Mo bass, yes, you got it. Exactly. Generally when people talk about superimposing, it's used to play like outside stuff. So if it was A minus 7, maybe you see I played like, what is that? G flat major. That would be like I'm superimposing a chord on top of another chord. I hope that makes sense. Purdy Roderick. I'm a Patreon member and subscriber. I cannot locate the total bass class course. That's a different thing. The fundamentals course is not the Patreon. The Patreon is like video lessons of everything I can think of in one place. The bass fundamentals course is like a syllabus that takes you from the fundamentals all the way to some pretty out there stuff. So yeah, they're not the same thing. If you want the link to my bass fundamentals course, the first free lessons is on the about section of my YouTube channel. One question. What about melodic minor land? Do you find yourself more in that land? I love that question. Also, again, probably not compared to other bass players who play like, who improvise in kind of fusion music. Oh my God. Oh, this dude. There's a guy, he shows up to every live stream I do, and he's like, please unsubscribe me. Every time. He's like, please unsubscribe me. And I'm like, can't locate your computer like the Matrix and go click on my page and unsubscribe you from my page. But now I've blocked him. What about melodic minor land? Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't got deep into melodic minor land, but the things that I use it for mainly would be on a dominant chord, like we're saying E7, playing it off melodic minor off of the 4th. So that gives you this kind of, you see E7 sharp 5. And then if you play it off the melodic minor of the 5th of a dominant chord, then it gives you E7 sharp 11. And then you can also play it off the flat 7, and this gives you this really out there sound. I mean, it's cool if you're like into this. Some people are not super into it, and sometimes it's not like super usable in a lot of situations. But again, yeah, E7, you can play D melodic minor. Okay. And F melodic minor is going to give you like a very altered sound. Let me answer these questions. Purdy, I meant the Base Fundamentals course 1 to 19 section. Yes, that's on like a separate website. That's like a paid course where you get a bunch of PDFs and links to videos. That's on the About Me section of my YouTube channel. You can find the link to the first 4 lessons free, and at the bottom, there's the link to the full course. So I hope that helps, and thank you so much for checking out the Patreon. What's your favorite Frank Bello riff? Lucas, is Frank Bello from Anthrax? Is he the bass player in Anthrax? I never really got into Anthrax. I was like the biggest fan of Metallica ever. I saw Metallica 6 times. But I never got really into Megadeth, Anthrax, little bit of Slayer, but I was like obsessed with Metallica big time, more than anyone you ever met. Trust me. I'm also stuck on focusing on the whole tone scale. I think what's cool about the whole tone scale is that it's symmetrical. So, like, let's say you learn E whole tone, okay? Once you can start to see where these notes are, what's kind of cool is if you make up one phrase, then you can move the same phrase because it's all symmetrical. So it's like, again, here's E7, and I played this phrase, then I can play it tones apart, or I can play it major thirds apart. So once you kind of see that pattern and how symmetrical it is, you can come up with pretty cool phrases. Yeah. You see what I mean? Like, they're very like symmetrical phrases. What should I use when playing soul? Do you mean like what kind of tone or scales? I would say be on the front pickup, flat wound strings, nice muted sound, tone knob almost off, and minor and major pentatonic. So yeah. And listen to James Jamerson, listen to Motown, listen to Stax, learn a bunch of Jameson bass lines, learn a bunch of Bob Babbitt and Donald Duck Dunn bass lines. That's gonna help you the most. The Bass Fundamentals course is awesome, by the way. Mo, that's so glorious to hear. Thank you so much for checking it out. You are a legend of the game. How do you make your bass fills? Yeah, your boy Nate. How do you make your bass fills? I mean, you just got to spend thousands of hours learning from other amazing musicians whose bass fills you love, figuring out what they are using, what techniques they're using, what scales they're using, what arpeggios they're using, the rhythm they're using, the phrasing they're using, the dynamics they're using. And you have to analyze it so that you understand it and can use it on any chord. So you got to understand the relationship between what you're learning and the chord it's being played on. So then you can go, oh, if this is B flat major, then I can do this. Oh, but if it's C major, then I do this. Oh, and if it's F major, I'll do this. So yeah, it takes a long time to get cool fills happening. One thing I would suggest though is take the stuff you know and learn how to use it in cooler and more interesting ways and make music with it. Don't just play it up and down. That's not going to give you interesting fills. Fungus84, I just want to say I've been loving your clips and the way you present all your information. Cool to see you live. Also, Fungus, that is very awesome to hear. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for joining us here on the Patreon. JJ and the Reverie, what's your Eureka moment of improvisation? I love this question so much. Wow. I would say A eureka moment for me was understanding that you can know all your modes and arpeggios, scales, and everything, but if you don't start getting into creating your own vocabulary and learning vocabulary from your favorite musicians, it's going to always sound like you're just playing exercises. That was the big thing that happened for me. Someone showed me that, a teacher I went to maybe almost 20 years ago. I had a lesson with him, and he kind of showed me how to get into that process, and this just changed everything for sure. Can you answer electronics questions? I mean, it depends. If it's not like crazy, but no, I'm not an electronics guy. Clover Jones, should I learn music theory? I honestly don't know, because you need to tell me what your goals are as a musician. If you want to improvise over chord changes, learning music theory can be very helpful. And there's kind of, yeah, levels to playing in certain styles, or being able to play a chord chart or a lead sheet, knowing what notes fit on what chords without any thinking. That's where theory can really be helpful. Purdy, I'm trying to locate it. Clicking your page. I'm on a paid subscription, but still can't locate. I've tried to upgrade. Locate it. Clicking your page. I think you are Purdy. You're on the Patreon, but Bass Fundamentals is a different website. The Bass Fundamentals course is not on the Patreon. There's a link to it on my YouTube channel. So, what's going on? Dennis, hello. Okay, wow. What's going on? Dennis, what do you want to ask about? Is it about electronics in the bass? Is it about electronics in a pedal? Because my partner who builds our pedals, he is an electronics genius. So if you have a question, I can ask him, and he will be able to answer any electronics question 100%. So maybe ask the question here. I'll see if I have any idea. Otherwise, DM me on Instagram.com celebrity pedals. My partner who builds our pedals can answer any question about electronics that exist. And that is a Gregory guarantee. What is up to anyone who's here? Please don't just sit there. Let me know if you have any questions about bass or our pedals. I am just like, when you haven't played your bass and you just pick it up and you need to just get your fingers working, This is where I am. So be kind. Jared, is there any advantage to having 21 frets over 24 frets on a bass? Is there any advantage to having 21 over 24? I mean, maybe it'll just make you play less high notes, but I don't know. I think whatever you like, you should just go for it. I don't see the advantage to having 21 over 24. But yeah. What do you do when you whoa, wait. Analog pedals and digital pedals, what would your unfiltered explanation of which one is better and why? This is a great question, Mr. Leshan. Honestly, I think they're both cool. It's about what you like, because there's certain things you can do with digital pedals that you can't do with analog pedals. So if you're like after having 50 effects all on at the same time and being able to just change effects in 5 seconds and mix every effect in one little box, of course you can't do that with analog pedals. So that's pretty glorious. The only thing for me with analog stuff is I'm just used to their sound and how warm they sound and how it reacts to my fingers when I play. So like an octave pedal, compressor, chorus, envelope, filter, when you use these as digital effects, the way they react to your fingers is not the same. So a lot of people say, you can't hear the difference when it's in the mix or whatever. Okay, cool, but it changes the way you touch the string. When you use an analog compressor pedal versus digital, it doesn't react to your touch in the same way. So you don't play the same. But if you grew up with only digital stuff, you wouldn't even know what that feels like. So you don't have to worry about that. So that's so glorious for you. What do you do when you solo to cut into the mix? I mean, generally, I just go more on the back pickup. So right now, I've got both pickups full. And you see, I just roll off my front pickup. And already it's just poking through. So even just that helps you pop through in the mix. Where do you start breaking down exercises, modes, arpeggios? Where do you start breaking down? Fungus, do you mean where? On my YouTube? On what do you mean? Where do you start breaking down exercises? Jared, is there any advantage? Answer that. Fungus has a good question. Jared, Fungus, where do you start breaking down exercises, modes, arpeggios, pentatonics into fills or riffs? Can you? I just want to make sure I understand that question, Fungus. Can you let me know exactly what you mean? Jared, what's your ideal bass setup like? Low action. I think at the moment, probably like medium. It's not low because I just can't stop digging in a bit harder than most people. So I need my action to be a bit high so that it doesn't sound like I'm slapping all the time. It's very hard for me to like tame my right hand to play nice and smooth. So I have to like kind of compensate for that by having a high action. I used to have like crazy high action when I played double bass more, but now I'm not like that at all. Now I'm more just in the middle, but not low. I've got my fingers. What's the step to putting them into real time application? All good to LaShawn, all good 6 Joe. Okay, yes, Fungus, I got it. So let's take this as an example. Okay, let's say you have G major pentatonic or E minor pentatonic under your fingers. Okay, let's listen to this with a song. Okay, so let's say you've played E minor pentatonic and you're doing this. And you've got this under your fingers. Okay. So you got that E minor pentatonic, and then you got the other shapes of it. And you're just running them up and down, and they are under your fingers. Okay? Here's kind of the thing. I would stop just running them up and down. And I would create a simple, short melody. For instance, you see, I just went up on this string, and I went to the next string. Now I'm going to do that in position 2 and even position 3. So I've created a real melodic statement with the scale. Now I'm going to try to turn that into a real bass fill. So could you see there how I went from playing the scale up and down to creating a very short melodic idea to moving it through the shapes to using it in as a real fill. And once you get into that, you can do that with anything you're working on, mode, arpeggio, pentatonics, everything. And once you get into a more elaborate melody, then your fills become more interesting, elaborate, last longer. So yeah. Start with something so simple. Don't go, No, just go ba-da, even that. Ba-da, da-da, da-da. You see, just like add your personality and rhythm to these simple melodies you make up. Don't make up like even a 4-note melody, only 2 notes, but be able to move it through the shapes you're working on. I want to make sure I'm getting everything out. Let me know if that helped. Yeah. What's your go-to exercise for fretboard mastery, JJ and the Reverie? I don't believe in fretboard mastery. I'm nowhere near fretboard mastery, and I'm not aiming for fretboard mastery because I just think with music, you just never master it. And the quicker you accept that you'll never master it, the less depressed you'll be. Okay. That's my opinion. I think there's so many like websites, all good fungus. There's so many courses and websites where people are like the fretboard, master your fretboard. I'm like, have those people mastered their fretboards? No, not to me. So don't tell people to pay to master their fretboard with like a 4-week course. It's not happening. Don't give people false hope, by saying just flip and check out these 4 PDFs and you're going to be a master of your fretboard. No, it's not going to happen. Imagine that was that easy, and Anthony Jackson was like, yeah, I just read this 4-week PDF and that's how I mastered my fretboard. There's nothing. But with that said, I think learning triads, arpeggios, pentatonics, and modes across the whole bass and across 2 octaves in all keys in a bunch of different directions and inversions. That's how you will understand how all these fundamental musical concepts apply to the fretboard. So I would say, to stop being the dick that I'm being, those would be like, maybe write that down if anyone wants to like check that out. Triads, arpeggios, pentatonics, modes in every key across 2 octaves in different directions across the whole bass. That's like, honestly, you don't have to check this course out, but that is what my bass fundamentals course, the first like 6 weeks, are basically getting people to understand all fundamental theory concepts across the whole bass and to use them in interesting ways, not just because this doesn't sound cool. T. Rapiska, how do I connect my mind to what I play when improvising? I love this question. Sing. So when you play, well, let's say you're practicing a scale and you're playing E minor pentatonic, okay? Once you can play it up and down, sing with it. Purdy Roderick, please DM me on Instagram Celebrity Pedals and I'll send you the link. So yeah, you're playing E minor pentatonic. Try sing with it. Now, instead of playing and singing at the same time, okay, and copying with your voice what your fingers are doing, try do it the other way around in real time. As an example, start to tune the key and the notes you're working with your inner ear and your voice. And spend time and do it slowly. Now I'm playing what's in my ears and in my mind. I'm not letting my fingers tell me what to play. And then when you play, I F that note. But I hope that helps you, if you know what I mean. Fungus. How long have you been playing and do you gig? How long have I been playing is insane. It's like 27 years, like over 25 years. Do I gig? Right now I live in Turkey and I'm happy just being at home with my family right now. I spent from 13, 14 years old gigging until I was, whatever, like a lot till I was like 35. And from 18 or 20 until 30, until like 32, I gigged a lot and toured a lot. But right now, I'm not in that phase in my life where I'm interested in being away from my family, really. Unless I love the music so much and it's with people I want to spend time being around, I don't really want to do it that much anymore. So yeah, I think the last gig I did was in New York like 3 years ago. So yeah. I still record for people in London quite often for different artists on different labels, but yeah. I was watching Family is Awesome. I feel you. Please just step back. Yeah, exactly, man. I just want to like hang out with my son, which is like literally the greatest time ever. I was watching a lesson for you on YouTube. You're talking about altered scale and dominant chord, and I couldn't use it in a 12-bar minor blues tune. Can you tell me how to approach in a 12-bar minor blues? Did I talk about altered scale? Because I don't think I used the word. Did I use the word altered scale? I don't think I did. Because I don't really like to use that term. Minor blues. So yeah, you have C minor 7 going to, let's say you got C minor 7 going to F minor 7, back to C minor 7, and then the turnaround. This is where you could start using. I don't think I would have said altered scale because I actually don't think of it like that. But yeah, on the turnaround of a minor blues, so when it gets to this, to that G7 there, this is where I would use like a C harmonic minor or G Phrygian dominant. Yeah. Or Justin Rains is here. Justin Rains, I'm not going to play in front of you. I don't want to embarrass myself. I messaged you about a pedal, Justin. Please let me send you, a little something to thank you for all the lines I've stolen from you and all the things I've learned. But yeah, I think on a minor turnaround, I would use G Phrygian dominant or C harmonic minor. It's like the same notes, but yeah, if that's what you're asking, that's where I would use like stuff that isn't just, classic pentatonic stuff. On the turnaround of the minor blues, G, you're a legend, a true legend. Yeah. G Phrygian dominant. Or C harmonic minor. Let me know if that answers your question though. But yeah, I didn't think about the altered scale there, really. On a minor blues. Especially not on chord 1 and 4. Only on the turnaround I would do different stuff. And I would do what I was just saying there. What is up? Come on. Any more questions on YouTube or on Instagram? There's quite a few of you here. Please, I'm here for you. Otherwise, I'm making noise, My dog is listening. Please, come on. Maybe on the turnaround, melodic minor, like any of those scales where you have a minor third and then that major 7 at the top, natural 7, those are going to work nice on that G7 chord. Yeah. Because you have this sound and the major third of the G. That's why those work really nicely. Fungus, 5 basses that you hold in the highest regard. Wow, this is beautiful because we got 2 of the same question. T. Rapiska said, who's the most inspiring bassist for you? And Fungus said, 5 basses that you hold in the highest regard. So I'm going to say Pino Palladino, Family Man Barrett from Bob Marley's band, Prince, Larry Graham. Can I just name lots of people? Richard Bonner, Matthew Garrison, Raphael Sadiq. He's underrated. And then that's all I'll say for now. Otherwise, I carry on forever. You were saying, let's just say we're playing G flat dominant 7. Whoa, we can use melodic minor and altered sounds on G melodic minor to create tension and resolve back to the chord tones. Okay, so G flat dominant 7. Yeah, so you can play melodic minor off of the flat 9. So yeah, G flat dominant 7, you can play G melodic minor. And then resolve back. So yeah, I would just practice, kind of play the chord, and then get used to hearing the scale on top of the chord, so that it gets in your ears as if it was as comfortable for you to play as a pentatonic scale, you know. So yeah. So you can see I keep reminding of myself how the chord sounds, so I can always hear the relationship between that scale on that chord. Yeah. I could not apply the concept on minor blues. Apply it on the turnaround. Only on that last chord. When it gets to G7, you can play A flat melodic minor, or you can play C harmonic minor. BX Disciple, how can I apply the melodic minor modes in dominant chord? Yes, we were just talking about this. And I spoke about this earlier on, I think. Yeah, if you have, let's say, a G dominant 7, you can play C melodic minor, and then it's going to sound like G7 sharp 11. You see? Or you can play melodic minor with the 5th, and then it's going to sound like G7 sharp 4 or sharp 11. And again, just play them slowly on top of the chord so you keep hearing them. Have you checked out Family Man's playing on the Upsetters albums? No, I need to do that, because any time I'm going to get to listen to him I'm a happy man. That's why my son's name is Marley, because of Bob Marley's music and how happy it makes you. But I need to check that out. And then the last one, just for the melodic minor thing, G7, play A flat melodic minor. And again, we're going to keep playing the chord. You're going to keep it in your ears so that you can hear the effect that all of those intervals have on the chord. Yeah. Don't just someone says to you, oh, on G7 play A flat melodic minor, don't just play A flat melodic minor and imagine what it's going to sound like on G7. You have to always keep hearing the context. You see, if you can't sing it, you can't hear it. The way you prove to yourself that you can hear it is by singing it. So yeah, if you just like hitting the notes on your bass because someone told you what scale to play, but you can't sing it, it means you're not really hearing all those intervals. Yeah. Any other questions, please let me know. That's whole tone scale across the bass. Please, any questions? Let me know. Got to get back to work. You rock. Fungus, thank you so much for joining us. Do you play Mark King grooves as well? Not really. I've never checked out Mark King really. I know he's an absolute slapper, but I've never really checked out Mark King or Level 42. But yeah, I know people love him, and I know that he's a beast on the bass, but I haven't really checked his playing out much. In terms of slap, I just love like the classic Louis Johnson, Larry Graham, Prince, Bootsy Collins. Like, I'm happy to live in that world of slap, you know, of those 4 or 5 guys. That's like enough for me to be very, very happy. And I think like the music they made appeals more to my taste than Mark King. Like the music that Prince made and was part of, the music that Bootsy made and was part of. Okay, I'm gonna check out the Upsetters because that sounds so good, man. I'm so glad you told me about that. Any other reggae bass players you admire? It's a great question. I haven't actually checked out, I mean, Sly and Robbie, but I haven't really checked out much other than Family Man and Bob Marley, really. But I definitely need to check out more stuff. Using modes in the creation of bass lines and licks, I love it. For sure, I do that. I practice that a lot. I do that a lot. Let's take an example of this song. C. Lydian. So most of what was on my mind there was C Lydian. And so I'm just like exploring, improvising within the C Lydian world there. Do you think of Dorian over, yes. Do you think of Dorian over 2 chord, Aeolian over 6? Thank you, JJ. I can think of that. Do I think of Dorian over 2, Aeolian over 6, etc.? If I'm thinking of like modes and really wanting to get the sound modes in my ears while I practice, then I will sometimes think like that. But I'm not always thinking like when I'm really playing, I'm trying not to think. But when I'm practicing, like as an example of what I could think of in the world of C Lydian and this song, look, here's C Lydian thinking. But here's C major and D major. There I thought of C major and D major. Here's G major. Here's E minor pentatonic. Here's G major pentatonic. Here's G hexatonic. E minor, G major, A minor. What about this? C major 7, A minor 7, G major 7. So I could think of all of those arpeggios, chords, pentatonics, and modes when I'm practicing. I could see that harmony and chords is all of those things. That is what I try like teach a lot of, is the fact that there is never just one color to go on one key or chord. You can practice laying hundreds of different colors on top of one key or one chord and figure out your favorite pathway through all those things, your favorite combinations. That's like what I try to show people more than anything else, that this whole business of like, oh, we're in the key of like A minor, so I'll play A minor pentatonic. No, that's like, you're gonna realize that that's not what your heroes are doing a lot of the time. This song starts on A minor and goes to C major, but A minor pentatonic doesn't really sound good on this. So yeah. So I try practice everything and learn so many ways to combine things so I can hear them and play them, so that when I play fills and try solo or make up melodies, those sounds are just like part of what I can hear over those chords. So then I can just play whatever I want to hear, not just like, oh, we're in this key and this chord is happening, so I play this scale. That's like what I try to get people to stop doing, if that makes any sense at all. What is up? Let me know if you have any other questions. We've been going for almost an hour. Wow. Please, if you have any thoughts or questions, I'm here for you. So please do not be shy. Please ask. Carhartt jeans, fantastic. Beautiful. I hope that was helpful. So C major 7. What? Mo bass, can you ask that again? Can you... That's not good to do the same questions. Anyways. Yeah. Oh, I was answering Carhartt's question, and Carhartt, you were all good with that. Beautiful. Mo bass, you said C major 7. I don't know what that is. You kind of looks like you wrote Ionian mixed with Aeolian. And then you said you play C minor Dorian. Let me know if that's a question. Let me know what the question is there. What is up to anyone who's just joined? Let me know if you have any questions. I was practicing this today and I was enjoying it. 1, 3, 5, 9, 7. And then it's like, can I play this on different chords in the key? This is what I was working on today. And I was really liking how it sounds. Mo bass, what happens? Oh, so C major 7, instead of a standard Aeolian scale, you mean Ionian. On major, you don't play C Aeolian. You might play C Ionian or C Lydian. So C major 7, instead of a standard major scale, play another C scale like Dorian. No, that's not really what I meant there. Purdy, I did send a DM per instruction for me to get the... Cool. When I finish the stream, I will reply to you on my Instagram, Purdy. I don't know if you mean like, it's not a stupid question. I just want to make sure I understand so that I answer right. I don't want to like start talking a bunch of trash and then you're like, that's not actually what I meant. Did you mean like on C major 7, you can think of the other modes of C major? Is that what you meant? What is up to anyone who's just joined? Please let me know if you have any questions. So I'm clear to use a melodic minor scale of a dominant chord. Use the melodic minor scale a fourth above the dominant chord. Give that a try, BX Disciple. On G dominant 7, play C melodic minor. The only note that's difference between G Mixolydian and C melodic minor is that sharp 5. So they're actually... all the notes are the same except one. So it's not a big deal. You just need to get used to hearing this sound. You see, that's the kind of color you're putting on that G7 chord when you play melodic minor with the fourth. I mean, how do you give more color instead of the typical Ionian scale? I understand, yes. I would try playing... I mean, if you get into the intervals and the different stuff available to you in even Ionian, it still can be very beautiful because inside of that scale is so many beautiful intervals. So yeah, it's like if I'm practicing G Ionian, instead of just playing it up and down or in thirds, you know, like this kind of stuff, try just hearing. You see, listen to the intervals. You hear how beautiful that is. So get your ears into even just the intervals and learn how to really milk them, because they give you an emotional... they make an emotional impact when you really know how to like place them. So don't run scales like this. Listen to how a 7 sounds, a 6, a 9. Can you hear how beautiful those are? This is all just major scale. Da, 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 la, da, la. You don't get to hear the effect of those when you just do this. Yeah. Where to get a good bass for lefties? Wow, I don't know, honestly. What city are you in? I mean, if you can, or find a bass online or check online left-handed basses. But I think, like, if you can try a bass before you play it, it's really good, because even if a bass is same make, same model, it doesn't matter. They don't feel the same. I tried Fender, but it's really expensive. I know, I understand. Squires are cool. Sire basses are cool. Sire basses are made so well. They feel so good. So check out Sire, Sire. They're very good price, and oftentimes feel and are made better than Fenders. You know? Don't shoot the messenger. Just saying. So yeah, check out Sire. And they do make left-handed basses. They got quite a lot of left-handed basses. How to do fills. Learn the scales that go on the chords, match the right scale with the right chord, and create beautiful melodic ideas really slowly, and then try to do it in time. That's how I would start getting into fills. Or learn simple fills that your favorite bass players play. Try play them exactly how they play it, and then try and make it into your own fill or use it in a different situation. So like I said, on this song, here's E minor pentatonic. Okay. Instead of just playing it up and down, I might go. Or so all I'm doing is I'm taking that scale I was practicing, and now I'm just making melodies with it and improvising until I find things that I go, oh, that's cool. Let me try do that in time with the music. So yeah, is pentatonic major minor scale enough? In the beginning, it's more than enough. If you know your pentatonic scale and you know your major and minor scales, you can play incredible fills for the rest of your life. If you understand how to use them melodically and how to get some glorious phrasing going on, you can make incredibly beautiful, amazing music with just that. Most of the music you probably love, that's what it's made up of. So yeah, do not think that you need more. Try use what you know and try get as much out of it as you can. Like make as much beautiful sounding music with just pentatonics. You can do that 100%. I believe in you. Okay, any more questions? It's been on here for an hour. It's been beautiful. But if you guys are bored and sad, then you just let me know. If you have any more questions, I'm going to happily answer them. If you say, Greg, you've been talking trash for 1 hour, we're over it. When to apply harmonic minor instead of melodic minor? That's like a taste thing, I think. All good, Kyle. I'm going to answer Mo, and then I'm going to answer Carhartt jeans. When to apply harmonic minor instead of melodic? It's a different flavor. You you get this little this. You get that Spanish sound. Melodic minor is more of like a I don't know, confused alien is landing, someone farted sound. So it's all about, do you want someone to feel like they're in Spain or on an alien planet? That's how you know when to apply harmonic minor or melodic minor. And that's truly my answer. Who are your biggest influences on bass and why? I did answer this already, but I'm going to answer again because it's all good. Pino Palladino, Family Man Barrett, Raphael Sadiq, Michelle Ndego cello, Jameson, Matthew Garrison, Lewis Johnson, Larry Graham, Prince, Bootsy Collins. Yeah, I could name 1,000 people, but that's like the people who are at the forefront of my mind. Got it. Awesome, Mo. Do you think grades are better or to learn songs without doing grades from rock school? I think you should. Truly, I believe you should do. I think you should do neither of those things if you want to get good at bass. You don't need some accredited academy, anything like that. Find bassists you love and music you love, and maybe some online tutors who talk about the music you love in ways that you understand and you can clearly practically apply, and combine those things. Learning your favorite bass lines and trying to understand why you love them, and then maybe going online and finding a few people who explain what's going on in a way that appeals to you. If you do those two things and you really like get into it, you are going to learn. You're going to become a monster. I really think that. I think that grades in rock school are there for people to make money. They want to charge you for learning things and make music into examinations. Music is not about exams, passing exams and examinations, especially not contemporary music. That is not the history of any of the music we listen to. But this is just my opinion. So I can totally be wrong. Someone can say, Greg, you are truly a dumbass. That answer was terrible. That's cool. But that's just my opinion. Okay, let me know if there's any other questions. There's still quite a few of you here across the platforms. I'm happy to answer. Talia, that's all good. I'm not honestly trying to be rude. I'm just being real. I don't want you to go down a path that I think could cost money and waste your time and make you start treating music like it's something you need to do exams or study as if it's a classroom subject. I do not believe that it's that. Mo, come over to Patreon, people. It's awesome with Greg. Mo, you're a legend. You're a true effing legend. Thank you for that. And thank you for being a part of it. Okay. Whoa. I hope that's been helpful for those of you who have joined me. Please, if you have any last questions, just ask, because I'm here to answer the questions, to try answer. So any question, go for it. Otherwise, I'm happy to get out of your faces. So, any last questions or thoughts? Whack it in the chat there. Please. In what order would you learn triads, pentatonics, and modes? I love this question. Major scales in every key, then triads, then arpeggios, then, seventh chord arpeggios, then pentatonics. Once you have that stuff deep down, deep, then modes. Okay, that's my opinion. And guys, I was lucky enough, I taught music theory at a university for 15 years, and I found that order works. Major scale on every key, intervals, triads, seventh chord arpeggios, pentatonics, modes. Don't learn modes and go so deep into modes before you have those things like super down. Otherwise, you're going to just confuse yourself. Is 5-string bass worth it? If you want a nice low B string, then you should get a 5-string bass. So yes, if you are happy on a 4-string, you don't want the extra 5 notes or whatever. No, it's totally your life and your taste and your music. So that's my opinion. If you want to be a working bass player, you might have some situations where someone writes a part for you on a 5-string bass, and then you'll wish you had a 5-string bass. Because that does happen. You go into a session and they bring out the music and you can see like some low D and a low C, and you're like, oh damn, I don't have a 5-string with me. So yeah, it depends on a lot of things. I'm left-benter, I'm left-handed. Can you give a brief explanation of seventh chord arpeggios? I can try, do it briefly. So let's say you have your major scale in the key of C. If you already know your triads, you will know you have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. You're going to just add one note to each of those triads. And that one note is found in the exact same way you found your triads, which is play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note, play a note. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. So when you add that one extra note to your triads, then you're going to get C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7, A minor 7, and finally B minor 7 flat 5. So if you know your triads, major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, your seventh chords, most of the chord qualities stay the same. It goes from major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished to major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, minor 7 flat 5. You see, everything is still triadically in there the same. You're just adding one note. Okay. Then once you know that, the same as with triads, when someone plays a C major 7, now you know what notes are inside that chord. So you see, it's a bit more of like a melancholy, rich sound compared to triad. That's your triad compared to... You see, this is like a richer, more melancholy sound. That's a C major 7. So yeah, that's like the most brief, quick introduction to seventh chord arpeggios. I hope that makes sense. You should learn to play it in one position, but also I really like learn it across one string as well. So if I did it in G, so yeah, you got same with triads. I always suggest learn it in one position like this. You know, you've done this, I'm sure. Also learn it here. And then learn it across 2 octaves. So like learn that. And this is, yeah, someone asked earlier about like mastery of the fretboard, and I said no one masters the fretboard. Anyone who tells you they can teach you to master the fretboard in a 4-week PDF is lying. One way you can get to really know harmony on the fretboard is learning your triads across 2 octaves in all keys in different directions. You know what I'm saying? And then you would do that with seventh chords. So you would say, oh, cool, I got my triads down in this kind of way. Yeah. Now I'm going to do the seventh chord. You see, just adding that one note, etc., etc. And you do that across 2 octaves, and you do that in different keys. Is there such thing as a seventh chord inversion? Yes, there is. Look, 1 3 5 7 3 5 7 1 5 7 1 3. This exact same thing as your triads. You know, you have this. You have arpeggios of your seventh chords. I see now the 5 weeks on YouTube. Still not sure in the right place. Again, wait for DM. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. If you see the 5 weeks and you go scroll to the end, you'll see where you can sign up to the full fundamentals course. But if you wait until I'm finished the live stream, I'm going to reply to you on Instagram. Carhart, did that answer your question? So yeah, there are definitely seventh chord inversions. That was in root, you know, that was all just 1 3 5 7 3 5 7 1 5 7 1 3 7 1 3 5. And you can do that with mine as well, you know. So yeah. Do I offer private lessons? Yes, I do. If you DM me on Instagram.com, Celebrity Pedals on Instagram, then you can book a lesson on Zoom if you would like to. So yeah. That was seventh chord arpeggios in different inversions. If you get into that, you can get to spread triads and spread seventh chord inversions, and I love that stuff. I have spoken a lot about that on my course and Patreon. It's very beautiful. It sounds a lot more open and colorful than just inversions, standard inversions. So try checking out spread inversions of triads and seventh chords. Oh, it sounds like I have a bit crush on my voice. Okay, everyone. Let me know if you have any other questions, please. Okay, it's been beautiful. I've been on here hour and 15 minutes. Wow, but there's been so many glorious questions. I hope I've answered those questions and helped you out there in some way. So let me know if you have any more questions. I'm happy to answer them. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to just, you know. So all the runs and fills you do are always chords or modes. All the runs and fills I do are a mixture of triads, arpeggios, pentatonics, modes, scales. It's just combinations of those things in different combinations. The classic stuff. Triads, arpeggios, pentatonics, modes. If you get that stuff down and understand how to combine them in very cool ways, you'll be able to play fills for the rest of your life. If you get some music inside of those concepts and understand how to combine them, yeah, that's what it is. It's just combinations of those things. There's no secret scale that anyone is like withholding from anyone, you know. That's why, you know, a lot of people will study music in university. They'll go to like pay $50,000 or 15,000 pounds to go to university. And it's like no one is coming at you day one and saying, cool, now we're going to show you all the secret scales that, you know, you don't get unless you pay 10 grand. No, it's not going to happen. All of that stuff is out there and ready for you to check out without paying 10,000 pounds. Trust me. We trust you, Greg. Thank you so much. I mean, I swear, I taught at university for like 15 years. I've been able to give out every concept I ever learned or spoke about times a million on where I'm teaching online. And I get to go much deeper with people who really care. So I'm very stoked to be able to do that. Good evening. I've just joined. How, if you haven't already, can you talk about fingerings and crossovers, methods, pitfalls, how to avoid injury? Yes, exactly. You know, when you go to Berkeley, we're going to teach you the Berkeley scales that you can't get anywhere else. That's why this is worth 100 grand. No. Okay, we got two questions here that are kind of linked. Best exercises for intermediate bass players to practice, and then talking about fingerings and crossovers, methods and pitfalls. I mean, for me at this point, it depends on the style of music I'm playing. Like if I'm playing funky stuff, I don't mind using one finger on my left hand. There's no problem. It's when you're playing kind of faster, more intricate lines or fills that, yes, you need to kind of have your left hand technique calm, relaxed, arched fingers, thumb supporting, and you need to get independence in each finger. And so learning scales in lots of different like kind of permutations can be really good if you're very conscious of making sure each note is clean. Yeah, and trying to keep your wrists straight as possible, not bending your wrists, keeping your arms quite straight and relaxed. Relax your jaw. Don't pluck too hard. Don't push the strings in too hard with your fingers. Imagine your arm and the weight of your arm is going into the bass. Not that's how you get an injury. You were asking about avoiding injury. I'm not doing this with my fingers. You see, the weight of the arm is coming into the bass. The end of my arm is my fingertip. That's how I imagine it so that I don't ever injure myself. And as you can see, my arms, I'm not like this, you know. Some people play the wrist is bent. My arm is like off the bass and it's almost straight. So I can play for hours and hours and I won't injure myself. Left hand is the same. I'm not like this, you know. It's like, look, it's straight. I'm not like that and I'm not like that. So try to relax your arms and keep your wrists as straight as possible, you know. In terms of exercises, I think triads, arpeggios, scales, and real musical phrases are the best. You don't have to learn exercises for the sake of exercises. Learn pieces of music. Learn melodic ideas. Learn melodies, learn bass lines that challenge your technique. And then do them really slowly on a loop for a long time so that you can be relaxed and you don't mess up. And then if you do kind of mess up, it's slow enough you can your muscles and your brain have time to go, oh, I need to change this. Oh, I need to angle this like that. Oh, I should use that finger. So yeah. But in terms of like specific exercises, I'm really not into like this kind of stuff. But that's just my opinion. Other people really like these kind of exercises just for an exercise. I would rather learn like, you see, that's a melodic phrase. I've learned a melody that's difficult for my fingers and it's a beautiful melody I can use. Okay, now I learned a piece of music and the byproduct is my technique gets better. So much rather do that. Can you show some of the pedals from your brand? I can just turn my octave pedal on right now. The Taylor shift.
We've been circling
There you go. There was a taste of the Taylor Swift octave pedal. Okay, everyone. Let me know if there's any more questions. Please, I'm here. I'm here for you. For you. Anything. And I will try my best to answer. Otherwise, I'm happy to say good evening and good night. But if you have any questions, go for it. Let me know. What pickups do you get for the bass? I got Damasio pickups. These are like pretty subtle sounding, old school 60s sounding pickups. Damasio. Yeah, they're quite like warm and subtle. Just my tone knob is extreme on this bass. So I have it like either it's off or it's like 5% on. But yeah, I really... It's got like quite an old school sound, which is cool. Okay. Whoa, there's still quite a few of you here. I don't want to waste your time. So please, if you have any questions, ask away. I'm going to upload. I've been going for an hour and a half. I will upload this whole stream to my YouTube channel. So if you just joined or you missed, we've gone over like hundreds of things, like 100 questions. If you missed anything, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel. But if you have a question, please ask, because otherwise I don't want to like sit and then when someone watches this afterwards, they're going to be like, this is the most boring thing I've ever seen. This is like ASMR, but it sucks. Hi, could you say some tips for practice modes? Sonority and nose shapes only. What does that mean? I mean, my tips for practicing modes are create melodies, get into 3-note per string modes. So instead of always playing like this and just running that up and down, play these 3-note per string shapes and then change the order. Instead of 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, play 2 3 1 2 3 or 3 1 2 3, and then try use those in music. Look. So I hope that was helpful. Vary the order, play every permutation, create melodies, and add phrasing and dynamics to the orders. Try use them in actual music. If you change the tone potentiometer to an audio, you'll get a more gradual tone change. Yes, I think I'm gonna change that exactly what you're saying. The potentiometer. I'm gonna get that changed so that it gives me even more of like an old school sound. Because I don't like how harsh it sounds when you push it. When it's like even halfway, I'm like, ooh, it's nasty. Okay. Any other questions about our pedals or bass playing that I can try help answer? Shapes. Andrew Sudlow, you said shapes? What's up? What's the question? Okay, I think I'm going to say in 5 minutes, I'm going to go. So any last questions, let me know, please. Okay, thanks so much, guys. I think that's it for me. I've been going for an hour and a half. It's been so beautiful to answer all your questions. Have you ever been approached by Scott's Bass Lessons for a course? No, but they have been very cool to me. They've shared my pedals a lot, and 2 of their videos, they've like shouted me out about my playing and my lessons and pedals. So they've been like super legendary to me and shared and said super nice stuff quite a few times. So shout out to Scott's Bass Lessons. They've been like super cool to me. I appreciate it. I always message Scott and I say, you are a legend, you know. He doesn't need to do that, but he does. He's a cool, cool guy. It's very cool. And every time he shares anything about us, I'm always super grateful. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, everyone. I think I'm done. It's been an hour and a half. I'm going to upload this whole video to YouTube. So if you missed out on like everything, it's going to be up. And hopefully that was helpful. It's been very glorious getting to chat to you as always. It's so nice to actually get to communicate with the people on here. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Any last questions on YouTube before I pack up? Thanks for your patience, Greg. All good. Honestly, I'm here to answer questions. If it wasn't for you guys, I would just be sitting here playing my bass to George Benson. So, yeah. Thanks so much to any of you who joined and who stuck around. I'm going to post this whole thing on YouTube. That's going to be a lot of stuff there. In a few days, I'll be able to add like the chapters and timestamps to the video. So, Gregory, before you go, what's up, Mr. Evo67? Let me know. Bow, bow, bow. I'm just waiting for one last little. Here we go. Give me 3 George Benson songs to learn. Wow, I love it. You don't have to learn them, but listen to the album 2020. That album from start to finish, every song is beautiful and so incredible. The album 2020 by George Benson. Listen, that's one of my favorite albums of all time. I love it so much. Every song is amazing. I love his voice. I love the songs. I don't think you need to learn them. Just enjoy the music. Just enjoy like the songs and his voice. Really, really, really. The album is 2020. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. So yeah. Okay, cool, guys. I gotta go. Honestly, thanks so much for all the awesome questions. I will see you at the next one. If you ever have any thoughts or questions you want to share with me, yeah, put it in the comments of my videos, or you can message me on Celebrity Pedals on Instagram, Celebrity Pedals. If you ever have any thoughts or questions, I answer everyone every time. Okay, thank you so much and bye.